On June 19, 2020, some TikToker teens discovered a dismembered body wrapped in a suitcase on the Alki Beach in Seattle. It appeared that these teens were sent to the location by coincidence through an application called Randonautica, an American application owned by Presley Media. The app's accurate location interface enables it to take users on unplanned adventures. Nobody, not even the user, has any idea where they are going or what they will discover. This eerie random adventure application directs its users to explore random places while only requesting for their location. However, you can decide how far you can go from your present location. On getting to the beach, these teens spotted a black suitcase on the rocky area close to the water. Initially, they thought it was a bag of money, but when they got closer to it, there was an uncomfortable smell emanating from the suitcase. Out of curiosity, they used a stick to open the suitcase, discovering something wrapped up in a plastic bag. At this point, the smell was everywhere, hence, they decided to call 911 to report a mysterious black suitcase with some foul odor coming from it. 2 hours later, after their arrival, officers searched the Alki Beach and discovered the contents in the suitcase to be human remains. They shut down the beach for further clues. 3 days later, the deputies discovered another suitcase with human remains near the 1000 block of West Marginal Place, near the Seattle City Light Power Substation. The King County Medical Examiner's Office identified the victims to be Austin Wenner and Jessica Lewis, who were 27 and 35 years old respectively. It was found that both were shot to death. Jessica died from multiple gunshots while Austin died from a single gunshot to his torso. Jessica's aunt, Gina, said her niece, who was born in Maple Valley, had worked at Laura's adult family home, an assisted living facility where she supported older and developmentally disabled adults. Jessica was said to have had the grace and patience to be able to do that. Gina said her niece had a big heart and was willing to help anyone who needed anything. Jessica was also a mother to 4 kids. As at June 2020, 2 of her kids were said to have completed their high school. One was still in middle school while the other was old enough to know what was happening. Austin, who was also a native of Washington, was from Kent and was fondly called Cash. The couple had been together for 8 years and were said to have experienced difficult times, but they always managed to stick together. Austin's family at the time of his death wished to mourn their son in private, but his mother had this to say about her son. He had faith, a big heart, and loved the outdoors, country music, campfires, trucks, dogs, Jessica, and his family. After reaching out to the victim's family and friends, the police discovered that the couple were last seen at a home on Ambaum Boulevard South in Burien. Police learned the house belonged to Michael Dudley. To commence investigation, a search warrant for Dudley's home was served on August 19, 2020, where detectives found bullet holes, bullet strikes, spent rounds, and a small smear of blood in the room where Jessica and Austin had been staying. Reports said Dudley could not explain to investigators how the bullet damage occurred. It was also reported that the room was recently cleaned and painted in an attempt to wipe off any evidence. Unfortunately for Dudley, the forensics were able to see beyond the cleanliness of the room and discovered a smear of Austin's blood. Dudley was taken into custody for questioning. It was later discovered that on June 9, 2020, Jessica and Austin, who had been renting a room from Dudley at his Burien home along Ambaum Road since December 2019, got into an argument with him over their $1,500 monthly unpaid rent. Dudley confessed to having an argument with them and being in possession of a gun, but denied killing them. However, further interview with his neighbors led to his conviction. Upon interview, a neighbor told the police that they called 911 on June 9, 2020 after hearing gunfire inside Dudley's home and hearing a man shouting, "Please don't do this, just let me leave." Prosecutors said Burien police officers went to the home that night but did not get a response when they knocked on the door, so they left. That same night, another witness who newly moved into Dudley's house claimed she arrived to the residence late after Jessica and Austin had been murdered. She said she observed the outline of a person below a heap of clothing with a damaged arm sticking out, in the room Austin and Jessica were staying. The lady further told officers that Dudley requested her to leave and come back the next day so he could clean up his mess. However, she never returned until several days. Also, Austin's father went to Dudley's residence after being unable to reach Jessica or his son. He was then informed by Dudley that the couple had left. Austin's father later spotted his son's clothing in the trash. He immediately recognized it as his. Following his arrest, Dudley's ex-girlfriend, Gordon, who couldn't believe he had committed such horrible crime, described him as a violent individual who had been arrested and charged for physically assaulting her before in 2016. Also, his daughter, who now uses a different name, stated in a court document that Dudley sexually assaulted her for 9 years from age 10 until age 18. She said Dudley would force her to share a bed with him and make her watch while he watched porn and masturbated. If she resisted, he would threaten to kill her with a firearm. Jessica's aunt, Gina, told Westside Seattle that Dudley was a sicko who would sometimes break the late victim's car so they couldn't leave. He was said to put trackers on people's cars. Anytime he ever got in a dispute with anyone, he would tell them to leave but try to lock them in the house. He once killed a dog in front of the victims and left the carcass outside the house for 3 days to scare them. Dudley beat the dog to death with a hammer because it got one of his chickens. He left it out there for the other dogs to look at and sniff. According to Gina, Dudley was a freaking psycho. She mentioned that there was once an electrician guy who worked for Dudley and they had an argument. Dudley told the guy to leave but still wouldn't let him leave. He further threatened the guy with a gun and 911 was called. According to prosecutors, Dudley shot both victims, then butchered their bodies and stuffed the remains into suitcases, which he then threw into different bodies of water. 10 days later, on Alki Beach in West Seattle, 3 teenagers were filming TikTok videos when they discovered the suitcases containing human body parts, filming their horrifying discovery. TikTok, however, received criticism for refusing to remove the graphic video after the video swiftly gained 30 million views. The social media platform claimed that the video was not graphic enough for removal, seeing that the victim's actual body were not recorded. Nonetheless, after several months, the video was subsequently removed either by TikTok or by the teenager who posted it on the platform. Speculations on whether Dudley committed the crime alone was initially a debate due to the disorganized manner in which Jessica and Austin's body were dismembered. After 2 years, Mike Dudley was found guilty of second-degree murder for the killings of Jessica Lewis and Austin Wenner. Dudley's sentencing is scheduled for March 10, 2023, where he might likely face a life in prison, without the possibility of parole. Families of the murdered couple who were present in court welcomed the guilty verdicts, saying that justice has been served. "The world is a safer place without Michael Dudley in it," said Austin's mother, Charlene Creans. "Everybody can rest easy tonight because of that. May the souls of Austin and Jessica continue to rest in peace." Leave your prayer for the victims in the comments. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more crime stories.